Hey everybody, it's Thomas. It's time to talk about this week's Blood Bowl League of Blood Bowl. We're going to kind of go over what happened last week, and we'll preview what's happening in the upcoming week as well. We just wrapped up week 7, which means we are officially at the halfway point. We have the same number of matches we had previously moving forward. Slightly different. We'll talk about that in just a little bit though. For some reason not on my team screen. Let's get into that. Ended up getting a forced tie this week. We'll talk about that a little bit more because there's some details about that. But I ended up getting a level up on a goblin out of that, and I rolled doubles. I really struggled with what to get here because doubles skills adds 30 instead of 20, but whatever. There's a lot of options for goblins to get doubles. I really wasn't anticipating getting doubles. I was just going to give another one catch, but doubles means I got a ton of options. I could get kick, I could get sure hands, all these normal skills I can't get access to. I thought about getting block, and block is pretty good because it keeps the goblin up. But I decided to get wrestle, and the reason to get wrestle is it does something similar to block in that it helps keep my goblin from getting hit when a both down gets rolled. It has the advantage of combining well with stunty to let me get in and knock down a ball carrier, even on a 2-die against. Wrestle's really good. So the other aspect is there are a lot of people with blodge in the league now, and I want a way to counter that. Wrestle is kind of the safest way to do that. It just makes it not a problem. I still have to deal with dodge being a problem, but wrestle will at least let me use trump block, and that's better than nothing. So we'll see. No other changes, of course. Even with the forced tie, I couldn't randomly get SVP on the hitting pieces, because why would that be a thing? I don't know where my other skill up went. Probably to this goblin with my luck, but who knows. I'm actually pretty close to level 3 on a couple of these guys, so that'll be interesting once that happens. We'll talk about that, obviously, when it happens. Money-wise, I got 60,000, but I got so much money at this point it doesn't really matter. This is just troll insurance, basically. Yeah, forced tie here against the Chaos team, which is actually kind of be what it's going to be looking like moving forward. The Chaos player had to drop out, unfortunately, so what we're going to do is anybody that I'll quick pull up his team just so you can see. Anybody that he has played against that he has won against or has lost to will get a forced tie. Anybody that he has tied against, it's probably in a forced tie, they will get a win. This is an actual tie, but whatever. So the idea here is everybody will be getting 4 points out of him. It's kind of the fairest way to do it. We're going to do it where if you get a win, I'm going to step in basically and play the team and give you 1 touchdown, and then that'll be it. That'll basically keep the number of points there, but give you the equivalent of a forced tie. So nobody's going to be getting the tons of money you get from a forfeit. Nobody's going to get the tons of SP you get from a forfeit. That's kind of just the fairest way to do it, and everybody's going to get almost the same amount of points. The only exception will be Chris, who he lost to. Pretty fair and square, I would say. So Chris is only going to get 3 points, but that's just how it's going to be. And that'll be fine. The other advantage is it prevents him from accidentally getting into the playoffs, which is what we really want to avoid. So let's talk about the other games here. We did have them. The Skaven versus Amazon match went the same way as their last one did. Amazon lost, but not as far apart. There was some, shall we say, epic dice rolling. The Rat Ogre ended up getting a touchdown, which is always pretty exciting. So you got a ton of passes in here, total of 4. 1 pass went wild, which actually let her, or what I should say, let the Skaven player get a touchdown in. Also, a misplay of the Wizard. Sid did not know that the Fireball would hit his players as well. So, a little unfortunate there, but still, 4-2 is not too bad considering how low in TV these teams are compared to each other. So, yeah, 4 passes, 2 touchdowns, and 1 casualty is a really just fantastic amount of SPP. Got a total of 17, which is actually, I believe, the same amount as the Skaven team did. So, SPP-wise, Sid definitely got some needed SPP here. Skaven team walked away with 50,000, which is not too bad whatsoever. Let's take a look at the team here. A level up on the Rat Ogre, which is exciting. And both Gutter Runners now at level 2, so there's no Gutter Runner at level 1 at this point, which is a little terrifying. This one got a broken neck, which will be missed next game. Too bad it's the tackle piece. A little unfortunate there, but -1 agility is not the end of the world. I think this player is still worth keeping because he's already level 2 and has a useful skill. Going on from here, couple of choices for what she could do. I think -1 armor isn't the end of the world for this lineman, but it might be worthwhile considering just firing this lineman and replacing him. Adding more players at this point isn't really necessary. She's got all of her key components, so at this point we're just replacing people at this stage. So yeah, level ups here. Assuming these are normal level ups, bunch of options. I would like to see a dedicated ball retriever on this team. I think getting Wrestle would be ideal. That said, arguably because there's so much dodge in this league, you could argue that Tackle is the safer call. We'll see. Tackle's still bad. 7 fan factor. She's finally beat me. Ugh. Had to happen. That's what happens when you're a goblin team that doesn't win things. Rat Ogre. Bunch of options here. I think Break Tackle is the safest one. Helps let him be a roadblock, but then get away when you need him to. Arguably, you could also get Guard as well. So lots of choices there. Let's look at Sid's half of things. 50,000 is not too bad for winnings whatsoever. Spent this money on something, I guess another linewoman, if I had to guess. I really wish he would have saved his money and bought, another catcher or something like that. Got some level ups here. I don't remember if these were last week or the week before. This catcher got Sure Hands, which is fine. Stand Firm here, which is also fine. And then Guard Tackle. Perfectly good skill upgrades. No other big changes here, but that's okay. Looks like the SPP kind of went to the pieces with skills. Not too surprising here. This catcher got 2 touchdowns, so that's good. Yeah, this team is getting more and more exciting. I do think he needs more positional pieces. We'll see. I mean, he doesn't technically need them. He's got the 4 blitzers, and that's about all you really need with this team. Not buying new players is probably okay now, but... Oh, I see. Put blue money on the these guys too, which I think is a waste because he already has a ton of rerolls, and at this point you're kind of just trying to deny rerolls to their team. But I think it's a questionable use of money at that point. Let's take a look at the next match here. A surprise twist in this one. This game was pretty good. This game early on started off really bad for Mark and quickly turned the other way with some bad luck for Andrew, but also some good play from Mark in terms of positioning. Andrew got a little risky, I would argue, trying to score the ball in the second half when he didn't really need to. He really rushed it. It was 1-1 going into the second half, and Andrew had the ball receiving. Didn't really need to, like I said, advance the ball as much as he tried to, or as quickly as he did. He could have played a lot more safer. Still, he was missing players. Also, some bad luck on some ward answers didn't help either. So we've got 2 touchdowns from Mark here, a completed pass as well, and 2 casualties, interception on Andrew's side, and a touchdown as well. So Mark definitely did much better in terms of raw SPP. He's got, let's see, 4, 10, 11, 16 SVP. Not too bad whatsoever for a team that desperately needs them. And over here, not a lot whatsoever. Just 10 SPP for Andrew, not the best here. Yeah, Mark walking with 70,000 as well, which is really nice. I think we got some skill ups here as well. Let's take a quick look here. That was from before. I think this blitzer had Tackle to begin with, but if he didn't, that's a good pickup. Yeah, this one had Tackle, I'm pretty sure. This one for sure leveled up and got Tackle. This blitzer is extremely terrifying now. 4 strength and Tackle means he can take down pretty much anybody else in the league, which is definitely good. Go away, you. Linemen are getting a lot of players within striking distance of getting a level up, actually. Pretty much, let's see, we got 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players within 1 touchdown of getting a level 2, so that's pretty good. Not seeing any other changes here, so that's good news for me since I play Mark next week. But still, this team is getting scary, mostly because of this guy. The troll is scary, sure, because claw tentacles, whatever. This is the scary piece as far as I think most people should be concerned. 170 in the bank. I don't think he needs to buy anybody still. Much like a lot of teams at this point, he's set on players. He's really saving this money to do replacements if he needs to. Arguably could do this, but I think it's just unnecessary inflation of team value, especially for a team that's already getting up there, as it were. Let's take a look at Andrew's side of things. Too lazy to scroll down. Andrew got 40,000 on this. Not too bad. Not the best, though. Oh, I should mention as well, Andrew got a lot of tackles. Bad luck. Rain was a big factor in this game as well, if I didn't mention that. Watch it. It was really good. Link will be up here as usual, but good game for sure. He got a level up on this lineman. I hope Andrew learned his lesson that he needs more than just dodge on some of these players. he needs more. He needs a lot more. I would still recommend kick. I think the lack of kick certainly did not help him in this game. Give him like a touchback on the first kickoff. Kick would definitely help prevent that. Also let him control the ball more. Let his War Dancers do more damage. His War Dancer is almost level 3, so that'll be pretty exciting when that eventually happens. This lineman is arguably near level 3 as well, as is this one. So these two could become blodging jerks, could become wrestling dodging jerks, which I think is not a bad call whatsoever, but could certainly get away with just going blodge. Could also get some more utility skills as well, but I think those are some good options as well. Fend actually wouldn't be a terrible option, but I think there are more useful skills overall. Did pick up his second thrower, so that's good. At this point, probably just needs to stock up money to try to keep his ability to replace players there. Still a lot of level 2s here. This team has probably got the best SPP dispersal outside of the Skaven team, which of course just has SPP all over the place. Because why not? These other matches were forced ties. Magic of just people not being able to get things together, and then the aforementioned Chaos player dropping out. So let's take a look at the Ogres first. Everyone's favorite terrifying team. 30,000. God. He did really well against me and the 2 weeks before, but otherwise has rolled pretty not that great. We take a look at his team value. Getting kind of up there. I think at this point, saving for the other rerolls, still what he wants to do. No big changes on his level up, although several players within striking distance of level 3 again, so that's going to be scary once that happens, especially this Ogre, I'm sure will hit level 3 very, very soon. Piling on pretty much means he will be hurting many, many people. Diving tackle. God, what a joke skill. I can't, Moving on. If we look at the Pants Commander's side of things, what did he get? 70k. Okay, wow, that's not too bad whatsoever there. His 270, only 3 fan vector, but who cares? At this point, same advice I gave last time, get another reroll. Arguably, could maybe get 2 rerolls, but just like I'm okay with sitting at 1 reroll or 3 rerolls, I think he should be fine with that as well. I'll help him get more bribes, and he's got this fan stuff as well instead of the fan factor. Level ups on the troll, this is the same one before. This one is now level 3, so this goblin must have gotten MVP from the random assignment. We'll see what he rolls. I'm never opposed to sidestep and diving tackle, though, as you all know. A bunch of these other goblins are getting close as well. I really want this Bombardier to level up because I really hope somebody gets Hail Mary pass in a Bombardier this league. We'll see what happens, though. And, yeah, we looked at my team already. The Chaos team doesn't matter anymore. So, yeah, that's it for last week. Not too bad. We can take a look at what's going to happen next week now. This is a repeat of week 1, in case you hadn't noticed. So, let's check it out here. See what we got going on. We've got Skaven versus Wood Elves again. Normally, I would say something like this is a close game. If we look at previous matches, it'd be indicative of that because they tied the first week, but a lot of things went into that. I think misplays certainly by the Grey Duck on that one didn't help. Look at team value here. Assuming we have normal skill ups, we're looking at an additional 60 here, so it'll be at 1480. That will, let's see here, 1370, so he'll be getting 90 in inducements, so that's just a babe, which isn't too bad, but not the best. Still, inducements are inducements, and it'll help this Wood Elf team not get punched in the face. Missing this tackle piece is going to hurt, but if she goes crazy and gets tackle on these gutter runners, that would definitely assist in that. We'll see. Still has some tackle, which is good. And still has block and all that stuff. I think the gutter runner's speed is going to be a factor here, and the thrower. The throwers will be an important part as well. Just the thrower's ability to move the ball, even when it's raining, will be a bigger deal. And I think just in general, this team's ability to move the ball is greater. The Rat Ogre will just be a giant pain in the neck, for sure. And there's just so much SPP here. Yeah. So assuming that she doesn't fire this lineman, she could fire this one, replace this one, but whatever, that's no change of TV. I'm going to say this Skaven team should get it. I think, while, like we saw in this week's game, Ainge's got a fair number of skills, for sure. And the War Dancers are big jerks, but because he just has dodge on all these players, he doesn't really have a lot of skills available that actually do things for him. They're good defensive skills, they help keep his linemen up, they help move around the field, but without the War Dancers, there's really not a lot of punching power outside of this one block lineman, which even then, the lack of wrestle means that the gutter runners are mostly going to be okay, especially the ones that can move the ball with BBLoBB. So, I don't know. We'll see. It could certainly be wrong. Andrew could get a bunch of punches in, could do well, but I think that there's no way Andrew win this game outside of something real crazy. If we look at the next match, this is Ogres versus Amazon, which I'm sure is giving just epileptic seizure of terror. I don't believe he has any pending level ups, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's just at 1150 and no new players to buy. So, let's see, 1150 would be 70. So you need 270 in inducements. A bunch of options there. A wizard and an apothecary wouldn't be too bad. Could also do a wizard and then do 2 babes on top of that. It kind of depends on what he feels like doing. I think wizard and 2 babes is safer because KO is more likely of an outcome, especially with Mighty Blow. Babes makes it 2 babes makes standing up a +1 or a 2+, so I think that's probably the safer bet to go. And wizard, considering how slowly the ogre team moves the ball, I think that's his best bet. This should be an interesting match. Sid was incredibly unlucky in his first matchup. He certainly has more skills now than he used to. Strip ball actually will probably come really handy since it's really hard for the ogre team to do anything with the ball. And sure hands will help him move the ball better. This blitzer having guard and tackle will help knock down snotlings as well. So we'll see if Sid manages to punch a lot of snotlings and do really well. He should be okay. That said, as we've discussed before, Chris's ogre team is very, 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 very scary. I think even though Chris has a lot of stuff here, including guard, diving tackle here is ridiculous and it's not even a skill point, just add team value because, extra 10 for nothing is helpful. Block here is not as important, but will certainly help. Piling on, also probably a little helpful if you can actually manage to hit anybody. But I think for the most part, Sid should be able to win this. I think his ability to move the ball will be the bigger thing. Assuming that he doesn't get totally pummeled into the dirt, he should be okay, but I think that getting all the inducement money he's going to get from Chris will help that a lot. So Wizard and a couple of babes should put Sid in the right path. Certainly could get a second apothecary as well, depending on how terrified of permanent injuries he is versus KOs. We'll see. Definitely a choice you make. I think Wizard is for sure a good call, though. Once you hit that 150 mark, you might as well. We look at the other match. It is a rematch of Mark and myself. I fully expect to lose this game. Mark's at 1330. I am, I believe, much less than that. I want to say a number I don't remember. 1240. Huh. Thought that was. Let's take a look here. 12. Why is it showing 1210 there? Well, that's certainly interesting. I don't know why it isn't showing. So 1330 for Mark, 1240 to me. Oh, that is a tragic thing. That means my doubles push me over the point. I almost had 100, but it looks like I only have 90, so that's 1 bribe. Oof. God, it's always so tempting to put in money as a goblin player, but 1 bribe it is. I'll have to be more careful. That is really, really unfortunate for me. Regardless, I do not believe I will win this game. Mark's just use of the phrase tackle on his players is going to be a problem. Yeah, it's only on 2 players, but they are scary, terrifying players. The troll I'm not as worried about, even with Claw, because I have more trolls, so we'll see. I think if either of us has trolls on the line when we defend, we're crazy, and something's gone horribly pear-shaped anyway. That said, he only has a few players leveled up, so we shall see. I think I can definitely get in his way. I think I can definitely hinder his ability to move the ball, since he only has the throwers that can really pick it up. Wrestle should help me a teeny tiny bit. Diving tackle should help as well. We'll see. Hopefully the Bombardier gets some usage. I don't know, though. Looney will probably be key, although I'm expecting him to get punched out as usual. Maybe I'll finally get some SVP on these guys. Who knows? We'll see. This game could definitely go my way, but given that I'm only getting 1 bribe, I'm not expecting a whole lot of miracles here. So let's take a look. I think that's the only matchup here. Ooh, wrong tab. I believe that's the only matchup here because the last one is Goblins versus Chaos, which is not happening. So we'll see. you just got to do some team management. No big deal. Let's take a look at some rankings here. So he's out, essentially. We can just ignore him for the rest of it. Forced tie when Mark won definitely slides me way down. Mark is in good shape for making the playoffs, whereas I'm still in the scrum here with Pants Commander and Chris. Sid could go on a tear and do really well too. We'll see. I believe he has a win coming from the Chaos player, so that'll definitely help his ranking overall. We'll see. I mean, his team is improving. He could do really well. Looks bad. We'll see. Yeah. Otherwise, I think these two are for sure going to be in the top two. It's possible that... it's possible things could go south for Andrew, but I'm not expecting it to. Mark looks pretty comfortable, like I said. Sitting at third, and then we're fighting for fourth. Third and fourth, I think the contested places here. Hopefully I can make it into the playoffs. Fingers crossed, but certainly these teams will make it interesting as well. Sid would be good too. We'll see what happens there. If we take a look at the Hall of Fame... Okay. So much SVP going the way of the Skaven team. And surprisingly, like we talked about, not surprisingly actually, the SVP for the Underworld team is clumping around a few people. So that's just what's happening. Best scorers, not as many Skaven team players as I thought. I think this is a good example of Skaven definitely doing a good job of spreading SVP, although six is a lot of touchdowns. For sure. Some throwers here, some more throwers on the Wood Elf side. Not too many changes here. Not a very big passing league. I'm kind of surprised, which explains why there's almost no interceptions. And I'm really sad that this Wood Elf player got an interception. We were doing so great with having the Troll being our only interception, but it was not to be. Some more violence here for injuries comes from the Ogre team. Yeah, the Ogre team has 4 of these slots. Surprising to see this game team putting out a lot of damage, but she's gotten really lucky on the damage she's put out, so that's not too surprising here. Best runners, no one's really challenged me, which is surprising, but I think that's a reflection of people just getting the ball and moving it forward more. Although, in terms of number of touchdowns per running, I think I'm running farther than anybody while still holding on to the ball, so that's pretty good. Yeah, not too surprising here to see the gutter runners taking up some spots here. Certainly not surprising to see them in the top 5? Oh, top 6. Well, still, not too bad. Best throwing in terms of passing. I don't understand what this had. It's got to include throw teammate. That's the only thing that makes sense here. Yeah, it must be. Not too surprising. We'll see. I mean, I'd like people throw more. We have throwers in the league. The Wood Elf team can pass the ball really well. It just hasn't really had an opportunity to, I believe. Survivors, as always, means nothing. In terms of deaths, no big changes here. I don't think anybody got any kills from what I remember. That could be wrong. I don't remember for sure. I don't think so. But either way, I'm still pretty pleased that I have more players on this list than the Ogre team. I really wish this had happened last season when I could have gotten an advantage for it, but hey, what can you do? And then best scorer. This isn't too surprising whatsoever. Let's see these players up here. Yeah, so like I said, we're at the halfway point. Everything moving forward will help determine things. We're really starting to solidify who has a chance to get in the playoffs, which, aside from Sid, everybody actually has a pretty good chance. Sid does have a chance for sure. I mean, let's take a look at his upcoming matches. So, I mean, in theory, if he wins this one, he might beat me. That'll be interesting. I think I play him twice, actually, so that's potentially 2 easy wins for him. Win here from this one. So, actually, look at 2 wins already, so that's 6 points. I'll put him at 9. Underworld, Sitch win that one. And then against them, he's got 3 Goblin matches last week, so we'll see. The Amazon team is definitely very punchable, and last week he plays against Wood Elf, which I'm assuming is going to be a loss, but who knows? Andrew has a history of being very unlucky, but this will also be week 14 when the Wood Elf team will be at its weirdest, and the Amazon team will also be quite terrifying. So, who knows? Maybe I'm speaking too soon and saying that Sid doesn't have a good chance. It's a better chance than me, if I'm perfectly honest. We'll see what happens, though. Up in the air at this point. Should be an exciting conclusion one way or the other. Sad to see the Chaos player go again, but hey, what can you do? Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.